Alright, hello and welcome to the channel. If it's your first time here, please do subscribe so you don't miss any of the upcoming EV news, reviews, and coverage of accessories and things to make your life better as an EV owner and driver. Today I have got this amazing new EVSE, or charger, from EViqo. They are a really exciting brand that is making some really awesome products designed in North America. And I'm excited to try this out because I spent some time talking with a couple people from there, learning about some of the decisions that went into this, how they've done the engineering, and just some of the really nice benefits from this that are going to make this a phenomenal option for a lot of EV drivers, especially folks like me that now that we've got two EVs in the family and we've had for the last 6 months or so, we're finding that it is actually quite hard to kind of balance between the two to make sure that they are always charged, especially when we're out and about, commuting during the week, when we're dealing with running the kids around to different activities and stuff on the weekends. And now with our solar install here too, we are trying to be more conscious about our energy usage and basically pair our EV charging, which is absolutely the highest energy consumption that we have in a normal day, with the times of peak solar production so that we're essentially offsetting from that. So what I'm going to do here is get this installed, so I'll show you how that works, and then basically going to do a kind of journal across the course of a week or so of all of the different things that we've got going on and how this is helping us stay balanced with all of that, so you can get an idea of what some of the best uses of this are and why some of the features and benefits might apply to you as well. So let's go ahead and get this unpacked, and come on, let's charge.
That's right.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about EViqo and their brand and some of the decisions that went into making, designing, and manufacturing this EVSE. So they were started by a bunch of EV enthusiasts who noticed that there were some problems and challenges in owning and operating EVs. And so what they did before they got started was surveyed a bunch of EV drivers, studied Amazon and other site reviews, and took as much as they could learn from that, and looked at the most commonly requested features and complaints that people had about other options out in the market, and designed those into their product here. So they have support in the US and Canada. Much of their staff has degrees in engineering, so they've got a really strong technical background. I've talked to a couple of folks from there, and just some of the really conscious decisions that they made in designing this and making it a really solid and reliable product that's going to work equally well inside of a garage or completely outside, or even in combination. Really stood out to me and was what made me interested in testing this out and bringing it to you on the channel here. Again, offers to test out a whole bunch of different EV accessories and equipment, and this one really stuck out to me, not only because they seem to make some really good decisions in the way that they designed and implemented this, but also just in the really kind of hands-on approach that they have, and just the passion that you can kind of feel from the company. So I really loved hearing about all of that. So in particular, the things that I thought were most interesting and stand out from this are some of the decisions that made into the design of this to make it really useful based off of all kinds of different challenges and complexities that you might have in your own charging setup at home. So for example, with us, we've got this nice 2-car garage, and we actually put our cars in here, unlike most other people in our neighborhood. But some of the challenges are with two EVs here, we are constantly switching back and forth. On the Rivian here, the charge port location is here on the driver's side front. On the Tesla Model Y, it's in the passenger side left. So they're basically offsetting, and it means that we would have to either try to back the Tesla in when we charge it, or do basically a ballet between the vehicles to get them both in here and charging. And so this has got the longest cable allowed by law and standards, which is 25 feet, which means that we're not going to have to worry about reconfiguring the car, and we should just be able to plug it in basically in any orientation, which is awesome. It also means that if you've got a setup like us where you have a NEMA 1450 in the garage, but you want to park a car and charge it out in the driveway, you should be able to do that because you've got 25 feet of cable length to be able to reach out there. And not only that, this is fully weather resistant. The cable itself is made out of rubber, not plastic, so it should remain flexible and not rigid and frozen even in really cold freezing weather. It is totally resistant to heat and direct sunlight, and that should not have any effect at all on the charging behavior. It shouldn't limit speeds or anything like that. It's actually a NEMA 4 and IP66 rating for outdoor use, so it is going to be fine in like even a heavy rain. So if your setup basically dictates that you have your entire charging setup outside, you'll have no issue with that. Or if you need to do kind of a mix of garage and outside charging, which we might have to do in a few years when the kids are a bit older and we get them their own EVs and need to have at least one out in the driveway, we will have that ability as well. And then one of the other really cool things, and this is the only product that I've ever seen with this, is that it has a 36-inch input cable. So basically the cable that goes from the NEMA 1450 outlet to the charging unit itself is 3 feet long, as opposed to what is a 12-inch average in the industry. And I actually found a lot are even shorter than that. Usually you only have enough length in the cable to essentially snake from the plug to the unit itself and get it wall mounted. With 3 feet, it's really nice because in our setup here, and I'll show you in a second, we have the shelves back here that are in front of the outlet and make it quite a bit harder to get things set up back there. So this actually gives us a nice option where we could probably mount it actually on the front of the shelf if we want to. But that would also work in the case where you might have, let's say kind of here on the wall, exterior wall of the garage, you might have your outlet and you need to have the cable going outside. So you could actually plug in on the inside, go through the door itself and have the display screen and everything outside. So just a lot of options and flexibility that you get with this, which is really nice. One of the other design decisions here was to have a separate holster that is not integrated just into the charging unit, but especially with such a long cable, it would make sense that you might want to have the plug in the holster for it in a totally different location from the outlet itself. And so having a separate holster for that means that you can mount it outside, put it in the driveway, basically anywhere else that you would need it, that's in a different location from the outlet itself. It's also a unique heavy duty rubberized connector. The latch itself is made out of metal, not plastic, so it should be more drop resistant and shouldn't be an issue with driving over it, which happens for us, not so much with the cars, but sometimes the kids will knock it off, the charger handle itself off, and it'll end up on the floor of the garage, and then they'll drive over it with their bikes or Power Wheels or something. And every once in a while it'll kind of be in the way and we end up driving over it with the car. So that should not be a problem for this. It is made to be resistant to all of that. And I think one of the things that I'm also excited for with this is that while this can go all the way up to 48 amps if you hardwire it, it supports 40 amps plugged into a NEMA 1450. Basically the way that works is you should only run at an amperage where the peak utilization is 80% of what your max amperage on the wiring itself is. So put the other way, basically here we've got a 50 amp wiring that goes to our NEMA 1450, hence the 50 part. But you should not, it is not safe to run a continuous load of more than 80% of that. So 80% of 50 is 40. So 40 amps of continuous load on it. But what's cool about this is the app itself will let you slide at 1 amp increments, and a lot of other ones don't do that. Actually, I haven't seen that with any others where you can go to that fine grain. And that is really great for our ability to basically match it to our solar output during the day. So now that we're finally getting some nice sunny days here, we're producing a ton of solar. We've got 2 battery backups with the power walls that we've got, but even those are getting maxed out pretty regularly now. And so what we're trying to do is actually match our charging to the output of our solar panels and essentially charge up that way when we've got the nice free solar energy versus having to pull it from the grid or even producing excess solar, which we then give back to the grid. We have net metering here, so that's nice. We essentially get credit for the energy that we're delivering back to the grid, but especially now we're using so little from it, we're basically giving it back to them for pennies on the dollar. So it's better for us to actually use that energy into our EVs. So this should make it much easier for us to do that. And then their app itself looks really great. I'll showcase that later on, but really nice design and seems to be quite easy to use. All right, with all of that being said now, let's get this installed and we'll start actually using it during the course of the week. All right, so as you can see here, we've got our NEMA 1450 outlet here, basically same one that you would have from a dryer. This is like one of the more common setups that folks have for charging EVs in their homes. And the problem here is this behind about 3 feet of shelves here. And so this has always been like a little bit of a pain to get charging equipment installed back in here. So for the most part, we've always used the Tesla wall connector or the Rivian one. But the problem with those are they only do 32 amps, and especially on the Rivian, that can take a very long time to fully charge up the massive battery that we've got here. And so this is actually much better for us now, where we can charge at up to 40 amps on this, which should be a much better charge for us. All right, now let's get this open. I love the packaging here. Really nice box and everything. We've got like QR codes for getting the app set up. But this came in really nice packaging where it's not going to get bumped around and broken or anything. We've got wall mounting templates for both the charger and the holster. So it basically gives you the places where you can drill, match up the drill holes that you're going to need for mounting the plates for all of this. More detailed instructions here. And then here is our actual charging display. This is nice, like the size of this is quite good. It's not big and bulky and not too heavy or anything. So this is actually going to be probably pretty easy to get right into place. And then in the back here is our mounting plate. I'm sure it comes off somehow if I actually read the instructions. We've got all of our mounting hardware. Well, those are some nice heavy duty ones. We've got really strong wall anchors in there. All right, and then here are all of our charging cables and stuff, and you can see just how nice and long these cables are. This is a holster and our plug here. Or sorry, this is the charging handle itself. Yeah, really nice and solid. And here is our holster, which feels like it's got some good solid construction as well. All right, let's get this mounted up and test it out. All right, so we are ready to go now and get this set up. Let's see, first off, so here's our nice long 3-foot cable for the outlet. And that has got us some, it gives us a nice option here for mounting. So let me get just plugged in first and kind of figure out how we're gonna get this set up. But yeah, there we go. So we've got power already. And here is our the charging cable and plug itself. Nice, really good construction on here. It is this latch part here is nice solid metal. Like I said, we've got this nice little rubberized protector thing on here, which I always like because that way, first of all, dust and dirt from the garage, which stuff is always blowing in here, doesn't manage to get in. And second, it helps protect it if we happen to drop it on the floor here. And then this handle is just really solid, heavy duty. Really gives a lot of confidence. Really quite nice, but still very nice and flexible cable, and just nice and thin, easy to move around, very flexible. And I think this is going to be a great option for us with charging. All right, so I've got that kind of set up sort of the way I like it. So haven't fully mounted it onto the wall yet. I'll probably end up doing that a little bit later in the week. Want to just make sure first we kind of like this set up and test out the cable length and everything before I commit to fully mounting it. You can see we've got some of the other stuff in here from other chargers we've tested out already mounted as well, but we will get this one fully set up on its own later. And then I really like this holster. This is very nice and heavy duty. I mean, it is plastic, but it's a very strong grade plastic. Feels really solid. And yeah, I don't know what else to say, but this part back here is at least metal for the mounting part. And I think this is great. I can feel it's going to be really sturdy and work quite well for us. You can see also a lot of the latching and stuff has these I guess these are Torx star screws. So people aren't gonna be able to come by with a regular screwdriver and pull this off your wall or anything like that. So if you're putting this in a place that gets more traffic or in a more public place, you shouldn't have any issue from that. All right, so we are set up and in business. I have the app all set up. It took about 30 seconds, honestly. Just had to create an account and then connect it to our Wi-Fi, but it was so fast. And then it asked like what vehicle we have, and we were like basically ready to rock and roll now. So let's just test this out and make sure we can successfully charge here. Continue with our Rivian here. Ooh, man, that is a solid latch. Very nice. And look at that. Look at how fast that was. We were already going here. All right, good morning. And today we've actually got an interesting challenge that is really aided by having such a high power charger here. So we are taking a big road trip up to Boston today, and we need both cars charged basically. We're taking the Rivian, so it needs to be charged to as close as 100% as possible. But the Tesla, from driving around all week, is down to like 30%, and I don't really want to leave it quite that low. So we're gonna do a little bit of a charge here. So we charged the Rivian up like to 70-ish% overnight. Didn't want it sitting at like 100% for several hours before we leave. Now I'm gonna get the Tesla charged up, and then we'll switch back a little bit later. But just shows how nice it is to have this much power, especially when we've got, I saw we put over 80 kilowatt hours into the Rivian overnight, and it wasn't even like completely at zero. And now the Tesla will probably put, what, like 20-ish or so in, and then another 20 maybe into the Rivian before we leave. So that's just a lot to be pulling. So it's great to have an option like this where we can go with the full 40 amps rather than the like mobile wall connectors that can only do 32, or even being stuck at something like a 110 outlet. So why don't we get our Tesla going here? All right, and not only is this compatible with Tesla charging, but it cannot be any easier. So like any other J1772 charger, like you might find at a hotel or other like public charging stations, we just need our little J1772 to Tesla AC charging adapter. This came with our Tesla. I think they still come with these, even though they don't come with the cables. But if not, you can get one very easily. And we just snap that right on, and we're gonna go ahead and plug in here. And as you can see, it starts charging right away. Yeah, pretty much immediate. And we will be getting maximum power on here as well. All right, and as you can see in here, we are charging at 9 kilowatts, 40 amps, and 237 volts. So we are maxing out on our Model Y's AC charging capacity here. All right, now another thing I absolutely love about this charger from EViqo is the mobile app. So it was very easy to get set up and installed, and we've got some great features and functionality in here as well, including the ability to really granularly dial in the exact charging speed and energy usage that you want. And that is awesome because last year we put solar on the house, and now here in the summer, especially on sunny days like this, we produce in excess of solar power, and during the day we are making way more than we actually need. So a bunch of it goes into our Tesla power walls here, but I actually regret not getting more because I find on a lot of days we get to 100% charged on those like pretty early in the day, and then the rest of the excess energy we're just sending back into the grid, which is fine and all, but I'd rather like we actually, you know, we're able to use it effectively. And so what I like to be able to do is actually use the time that we're producing like peak solar and excess solar and put that right back into our EV batteries. And with the app here, we can very easily do that. So first off, you can see here in our Tesla app that we are currently generating about 3.7 kilowatts of solar energy. We are actually charging up the power walls right now because it's earlier in the day, but let's say we want to use this energy to power up our Rivian. And so I can open up our app here, and so here in the app I can actually very easily set this down to like the 1 amp level of granularity for exactly what I want. So you see right now we're going at 40 amps. The Rivian is at 241 volts, slowly coming up. And that means we are currently taking in 9.69 kilowatts of power. But down here, I can easily change this, you know, amp by amp, basically to get exactly what we want. So most of the time, I'm just going for the full 40 amps so that we can maximize our charging and get as much as possible. But I can actually go down here to let's see, what's going to take me to about 3.7. There we go. 16 amps will take me to 3.8. So we're basically now using 100% of the solar energy that we are producing, and instead of it going directly into our Powerwall batteries, it is going back into our EV. So that is awesome and helps us offset our usage a little bit, helps us also balance the production versus excess, and means that we're not just like dumping it back into the grid and are using it effectively ourselves. It also helps us kind of load balance a little bit throughout the day and especially the night. So during the day while we're making all of this energy, we can use it rather than then pulling back from the grid at night and incurring additional load there. A lot of times the energy providers actually have to like spin up diesel generators and stuff at night to handle excess demand, and I'd rather they don't have to do that, so we can get all of this nice clean solar energy from here. And then the other stuff I like about this app is you can see I actually will get notifications in here for when our charging stops and starts, which is great because even though for us our Tesla and Rivian both have mobile apps that will tell us the same thing, if you had an EV that potentially doesn't have that capability or doesn't have a good mobile app, you can check it out from there. As I already showed, you can also check out and change like exactly how much you're consuming, and you can even get like estimated energy costs on here, which is awesome. I can also remotely control this with starting and stopping. I can set schedules in here, and I can see breakdowns of our power usage by the last week, last month, 3 months, basically like how we're using it here, and get all of these nice like visualizations and graphs as well. And I can set like a delaying schedule or specific times that I want it to charge across different days, and set all kinds of customized schedules in here as well. All right, well, we are just back from our big road trip where we drove all the way from Boston to New Jersey. So our Rivian is thirsty, and I'm gonna get charging here. And this should be more than enough to get us going for the week. All right, so we just got back from our road trip last night, and the car was down to like, actually I don't even know, single-digit %. And today I'm off to the airport nice and early, so needed a fast charge so that I could make sure I could get there with plenty of range, even though I'll hopefully be able to use one of the chargers there. But it was really great to have this. Came in handy. Make sure that we could get ample power overnight at 40 amps. All right, so that has been our look at the charger from EViqo, and I've got to say I've just been absolutely loving this. Some of my favorite features for sure here are, obviously, first of all, just the high-speed charging that we're getting here with 40 amps versus the 32 that we were previously getting with our mobile connector, and just being able to get both vehicles charged up so much faster now. I also love the construction on here. This latch and just the way that this handle is made is amazing, and despite the kids knocking it over a couple of times now, there's absolutely no sign of any type of wear or tear on here, and it has been phenomenal for that. I love this long cable, which has made it easier for us to access the charging port locations on both vehicles without having to go through the entire ballet of moving everything around all of the time. And I absolutely love the app and allowing us to do this super fine-tuned, granular configuration of exactly how fast we want the charging to be, so that we can offset it with our solar production or like other usage that we've got going on, or you can kind of use it to help time out our charge overnight, or these times where we've needed to like balance things between the vehicles with lots of stuff going on between road trips and kid activities and stuff over the weekend. So all of that together has been just absolutely phenomenal, and this has been rock solid. We've had absolutely no issues at all with it. So absolutely love this. If you are interested in getting your own, please check out the link in the description below. I will make sure to use my link, because that will not only help you get the best price, but also help support the channel and allow me to keep bringing you more videos with other of the best accessories out there for EVs, as well as other EV news, reviews, and big road trips as a family. So please do help support us that way, or if you can't do that, at least like, comment, and subscribe so that we can keep making these videos. Well, with that, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you out there on the road.